Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hopefully you're having a good one. Today is a very big video. We're going to be talking about SmileFest 2025, a massive anime figure event that's being held right now over in Japan. I think they're doing this next week as well. There's technically 2 SmileFests. Not sure if there's going to be more announcements next week. I'm just going to assume this is the big event. They're going to show like almost everything here. So what we're going to cover today is everything in the new product gallery. If there's a lot after this, I'm going to make a part 2. If there's just like some things here and there, I'll add it in post. But yeah, what am I looking forward to? Honestly, I just want to be surprised. Or Xenoblade, you know how I am. But as long as there's a few things that I get excited about, I'll consider this a win. But we're actually going to start pretty dang strongly. Here is the Hatsune Miku Japan Live Tour 2025 Blooming figure, made by Good Smile Company. Sorry if the text is a little small, the formatting on this page could be a little better. I don't know how to work around this, so I'll just be like reading all the figures' names out loud. But yeah, this finally got painted. It's very colorful. I'm assuming a lot of you guys are probably very familiar with this artist, as it is none other than Yoneyama Mai, who designed the Goddess Miku, who I know a lot of people are very excited about. I feel like this figure is ultimately going to be a bit more popular than the Japan Tour 2025 figure, but it is still pretty lovely. She does look very cute. Really, it's just going to come down to how much you like flowers, because that's really the main idea here. There's so many flowers, and they're really sculpted beautifully to have this like sense of realism not often seen on other figures. And her outfit is very busy. There's a lot going on here, some like translucent layering, and the shading looks great on her hair. Not a big fan of these supports right in the front of the figure. Maybe they'll figure something out by the time this comes out. But considering this one's already painted, I'm sure we'll be talking about this once again very soon. We also had the Snow Miku and Kuromi figure. I did see this one earlier today because they leaked it. Finally painted, looks lovely. This like really rich royal blue they used for her outfit kind of has like a bit of a luster to it. Can't tell if it's metallic paint or not, but I really like this shade of blue they went with. And then you have that contrast with the whites and the light blues, the snowflake patterns everywhere else. Kuromi, obviously very cute. You got the rabbit mascot down there too. I don't remember if it has a name. I don't own a Snow Miku figure. Maybe I should get this one. Also, did you see the trailer for Kuromi and My Melody show? That shit looks pretty dang good. I love stop motion. Definitely watching that. Next up, I forgot about this one. The World Is Mine Hatsune Miku 2024 edition. This is Red Juice's art, right? I'm pretty sure it looks exactly like it. I gotta say, I know it's just an art style thing. I'm not loving the hair sculpt right now. I like how it's, you know, a little wavy and whatnot, but I don't know. There's something about it. Not like super impressed with, at least in this photo. It's not the highest res. I'm sure it'll look better in person. But yeah, not immediately impressed by her hair. She does look gorgeous though. I do love her face, her smile, her eyes, and the very like nice leggings she's wearing, or thigh highs rather. Plus this base too, this very regal armchair, the flowers with like so many petals on the ground, the checkerboard base. Certainly a lot to like, and you know, World Is Mine, amazing song. So hopefully I like this one a little bit more in the future, but she does look pretty good. Racing Miku 2013 version. Reincarnation, it says down here. This figure does look familiar. Is this just like a redo of it? I'm actually not super familiar. It doesn't look super impressive. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a budget figure or something. Definitely need more information on that one. We have a Figma for the Racing Miku 2025 version. This is a really interesting design. Not the first time we've seen it though. I want to say this version of her has at least a Nendoroid, probably a scale as well. They're just doing the whole thing as they typically do, every single type of figure. Here is the pop-up parade for the Sour version of Hatsune Miku. I'm not familiar with this song or like where this art comes from, but I do remember this design from last time. You know, obviously a little bit more simple than the last few we just saw, but I do like her swoopy hairstyle, and you know, this pattern on her dress is really nice. That gold will definitely pop on pop-up parades just because you're really not gonna get too much shading, but there is some nice gradation here, which will definitely help the paint job. Wow, I really like this art style. This is a really interesting looking Miku to me. This is a model kit though, so I'm probably not gonna get it, but this art style is kind of killer. This name's a little hard for me to pronounce. The Juocho tactical craft version of Hatsune Miku. Here's a Good Smile Kuji Nendo of Hatsune Miku, the glasses and cafe version. So Kuji, it's like a lottery thing. I don't know how this actually works in Japan. Obviously over here, we're not gonna get that. Really cute design though. This fluffy hair sculpt is great. Really starry eyes too. but might be pretty hard to get, so I don't know. Seems like they're also making a pop-up parade, also parts of the Kuji line, so you might have to go out of your way to get this one. Hopefully not too much of a pain in the ass for people outside of Japan. This hairstyle's killer though, even better on the pop-up parade. They should make a scale if they're not already. This is seemingly just another recolor of the previous Nendo we just saw, and same thing for the pop-up parade. A lot of Miku starting us off. We have the Miku with You 2024 Nendo, Miku in space with the panda. That's pretty cute. Next up is, holy shit, it's Teto. Was this announced previously? I don't remember that. This looks pretty simple. Honestly, I do like her Nendo more. That's like $300 right now. They should probably re-release that. But Teto's in right now. People fucking love her, so good on them making some figures of her. Large size too. These I remember from the HoloFest. Don't remember exactly when that happened. Only a couple of months ago, I think. A few months back at the very least, but we have Suisei as well as Azuki. So fully painted in their lovely idol attire. Kind of surprised their ribbons are like very translucent. They almost look like balloons to me, the way they've sculpted them. Not that that's a bad thing, but it does kind of stand out. Otherwise, they're pretty nice. You know, this is good Smile Company. The shading, the sculpting, it's gonna be good. These don't even really look like they're gonna be that expensive, but the Hololive tax might bite ya. Lammy got her pop-up parade painted. This is probably the time where I gotta tell ya that I can't spend too long on most of the stuff. If there's like 300 figures in this gallery, we gotta get a move on. Here's the fully painted Figma of Takane Louis from Hololive as well. I believe Fubuki is also in this gallery fully painted. If they show me something crazy in the Figma line, I'll definitely spend a minute or two on it, but until then, let's keep going. Hina from Blue Archive, the dress figure, the formal dress that she wears. I really like how she styles her hair when she's wearing this outfit. But the purple, you know, starry sky pattern looks great. The wings down there have some nice shading on them. Shoutouts to the leggings, actually. The gradation here is great. I just really like how they've painted her outfit overall. You know, this figure seems good, and I think the previous dress figures from Blue Archive have not been that expensive, but this one does seem the most elaborate. But she is also pretty small, like as far as her height goes, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of evens things out. Either way, Blue Archive Shiroko Terror. I don't remember this one at all. Looks pretty damn good. Her dress clearly the star of the show here. The ruffling of the dress showing off the legs, but the inside is that really light green, maybe even like bleeding into the top of the dress as well, intentionally, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I can't recall seeing this one before. She looks lovely though. This face is great. Her hair super voluminous, flowing in the breeze, right? It's a cool one. Pretty cool. Couple of Blue Archive Nendos. We have Toki as well as Kayoko, both fully painted. Her design's great. I love this fit. Simple, but very effective. The plaid skirt. I don't know if she has any scale figures, but I would be pretty interested if she did. And here's a figure of Aru. This one looks amazing. Definitely just a sucker for her design though. That big ass jacket she's wearing. I love the design of that. Plus just like the office attire, the top and the skirt. The heels, right? Oh, it just works so well for me. I believe her dress figure just went up. It was pretty reasonably priced, but this is probably the one that I would wait for if I want to continue buying Blue Archive figures. We also had Blue Archive's Hanako, made by Max Factory as well. Pretty self-explanatory, this one. Playing with the hose, wrapping around her body. The shirt drenched, and as a result, you can see her bikini underneath. I do appreciate that you're actually getting like the setting with this figure too, but I guess that makes sense. This hose has to come from somewhere. The water has to come from somewhere, right? From this resolution, I'm not fully sold on her face. I get what they're going for, but I definitely want to see a little bit more in regards to this figure. Will say they've done the chest immaculately though. Good job, Max Factory. We have a Figma of Aru. I feel like I've seen that before, maybe not, hard to say. Aru dress scale figure, the Memorial Lobby version. This one's made by Solar Rain, which is why I was a little confused because we literally just got a scale figure of her in the dress. Kayoko dress Memorial Lobby version by Solar Rain. I feel like I'll like this. I don't know a lot about Solar Rain's quality. I just really like her design a lot, so I'm a bit optimistic. Here is the Hoshino Battle figure from Blue Archive, made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. The one with the riot shield, fully equipped. There is so much on this little character, but it is pretty charming at the same time. I mean, if she's in combat, she's ready to go. surely has enough equipment to get through any fight whatsoever. Here is Hanako swimsuit memorial lobby version made by Good Smile Art Shanghai, so just a different interpretation of Hanako in that drenched shirts, I guess like squeezing the water out of it, which is a nice, you know, departure from the other figure, doing something a little bit different. Though I do feel like Max Factory's figure will likely look a little bit better. This one's cute. Again, Good Smile Art Shanghai making a Yuka pajama figure. Just adorable, you know, adorable concept. Hope it looks good. Mary Pop Idol Memorial Lobby version, also made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. Just some arts, but I do like this concept. Here is the Reincarnation Fate Stay Night Saber Lily figure, which doesn't look good. I don't know what reincarnation means. This is definitely something new. Maybe they're miniatures of figures released in the past. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But showing them in this fashion without telling me what these are, a little confusing. But I'm sure we'll see these in the coming months. Wow, what is this? The Saber Garden of Avalon. I thought I was just looking at a real-life picture for a second because of the lighting. She looks beautiful. Honestly, pretty similar in concept to Alter's figures, not exactly, but just because she's like kneeling down, the dress is like really laid out all over the floor, draping down, creasing and wrinkling, right? But it has like almost a wedding vibe to it because of the veil over her head. Perhaps that's the point. I'm not familiar with this specific scenario, but this one caught me off guard in a really nice way. I'm kind of loving the execution here. Her face specifically, but really just conceptually, this looks gorgeous. Can't wait to see more. We have a Figma of Berserker Morgan. Feel like that's not a new announcement, actually. The Bremerton Joyride of Love, so a wedding style figure for Bremerton, made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. They're doing a really good job hiding the acrylic stand that's going to be jabbed into the back of her head, keeping the bouquet floating above her. Consider me convinced in this one gallery photo. But yeah, you know, I love Bremerton. I'm not like super into wedding style figures, but this one does have some nice execution, a little bit more energy behind this one. Very dynamic, nice flow to it, a lot of movement. I keep staring at her thighs, maybe just because they're a little thick. Maybe it's this like gold chain around her waist. Or maybe it's like this slight lacy pattern on the thigh highs. You could barely see it, but there's definitely something there. Hopefully there's some like more photos in person to show this one off a little bit better. Next up, we have the Mogador Locker Room Lechery version. Azur Lane, Good Smile Art Shanghai. This is a dangerous, skimpy swimsuit. I mean, this area right here, that's so thin. But either way, the towel is actually fabric, which is kind of interesting. Maybe so it's easier to take on and off, because, you know, this way you could just have it be your preference without having to struggle. But it does look a little cheap, in my opinion. I don't love the execution. Maybe if there was like a pattern on it, I would like it a little bit more. But it really is just like a white sheet, there you go kind of situation. Her hair is bonkers though. Look how wide this hair sculpt is. Doesn't really look that nicely shaded. Like, it looks fine. But considering there's so much hair here, you want to make sure it's as nice as possible. But yeah, this sexy swimsuit, it's definitely eye-catching. I definitely like it. I like that it's glossy, catches your eye even more. And this very lustful face, she's like drooling a little bit. A lot of blush, very good too. Next up, I'm assuming we're in the Azur Lane territory, and we certainly are. This is Fancy by Good Smile Art Shanghai. I don't know what's going on here. There's like an octopus breaking through the dimensions to grab onto her. I don't know if she's doing that. I don't know if this is just a unfortunate scenario, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, this is definitely a spectacle of a figure, and not one I was expecting at all. I mean, she's got like a tentacle wrapping around her leg too, squeezing pretty tightly from the looks of it. Her hair though, ooh, I love how messy her hair sculpt is. Looks good, definitely looks good. Good Smile Art Shanghai loves Azur Lane, from what I can gather. Here's another one from them, Bismarck Unpacked Surprise version, just the announcement though. We had New Jersey Dancing in the Moonlight, that looks amazing. I love New Jersey. I will buy a figure of her one day, most likely. This outfit, I never have seen her wear this before. If you get this base, like this very dark blue, maybe even black tree with the leaves and like the slight hints of yellow for like a flower blooming, that's gonna look gorgeous. I hope it's included. This could definitely be a banger. We have the Azur Lane Belfast Blissful Service version. what's even going on here? She's just full on groping herself. Her top has been undone too, and there's this like bottle that's been shook, popped off, the liquid's curving towards her somehow. I don't know how that's working. Must have just like flung it immediately or something. But definitely caught my eye at the very least. That's an interesting design. Here is the Cheshire, the Cat in the Magic Hat version. Pretty sexy figure of her. I was not expecting the translucent suits for the most part, right? There's some black glossy trim. These poker cars look so slick to me. The design is great, just all around. The colors are good, they fit Cheshire right. Also, you gotta love her pose, right? Like not only is it showing off her sexy body, but she's also leaning against the base, which I just like, instead of it just being a bunch of stuff cluttered on the bottom. It's actually like thought out, and they actually like combine the two pieces of the figure in a really natural way. I kind of love it. I think this one is maybe one of the better figures from Shanghai so far. Here is Luminous Box's Taiho, the Knight's Pool version. I mean, you put a character like Taiho in a swimsuit like this, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty effective on some people. This looks pretty damn sexy. We also have a figure of Kearsarge, the Night Pool version, also from Luminous Box. Another pretty daring swimsuit. Does seem like she's actually unzipping it too, so take note of that. Here's Cinderella from Goddess of Victory Nikkei, made by Max Factory. Funny enough, this one leaked on the internet a couple of hours ago, so not an exciting announcement for me. I knew this one was coming, but she does look lovely, extremely glossy, just like the Hobby Sakura figure, her entire body, right? And honestly, this figure is set up in a pretty similar way to that Hobby Sakura figure, except for the fact that it's probably not a 1/4 scale. I would assume 1/7. I'm not the biggest fan of how they're lifting up her weapons with these big chunky acrylic pieces. I get that they're big pieces, right, these weapons, but it's just not like elegant enough for a design like this. It does kind of clash a little bit. I do love her base though. Again, another thing that's very similar to the Hobby Sakura figure. Her hair sculpt looks fantastic, and the way it's painted, beautiful. And this you can't really see too well in this photo, but in the other photos, the highlights in her hair almost look like a metallic blue. They did this with Chun-Li, and it looked great, and I'm glad they're continuing to do this. I feel like more figures should just do this. It always looks good. But yeah, definitely loving the execution so far. And goddamn, look at that thigh gap though. Anyway, next up we have a Figma of Privity. Did I say that right? I know this character is super popular, but I don't think I've ever heard her name said out loud. We have the hyper body of Alice Wonderland Bunny. I believe that is just like a posable figure like Figma. Same goes for this one, the hyper body Viper Toxic Rabbit version. We have a Nendo of Scarlet, which I believe they did show off a couple of days ago. In fact, a lot of the Nendos in this video are probably like that. Here is the Killer Wife Secret Party Cleaner, made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. Am I bugging, or is that a big ass ottoman? That just looks really big to me. But yeah, I mean, another really sexy dress figure, right? Aggressive side boob. Even looks like the dress is cut here, so you can see a bit more of her butt if this part isn't enough. Here is Red Hood. I know people really like her. Made by Good Smile Art Shanghai from Nikkei once again. Is this supposed to be the same dress that the Hobby Sakura figure also had, except with the inclusion of a really nice blazer? It looks like it's me, but because it's unpainted, I'm not exactly sure. Is this right here supposed to be like her hip bone poking through? That's kind of crazy detail if that is the case. Next up is Cinderella, another figure of her, the Glass Princess, made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. Oh, so this is supposed to be like Disney Cinderella, right? You got the pumpkin carriage down there and the whole glass slippers thing. That's fun. If this is supposed to be a mirror base, that's probably gonna look really good. Her hair is just draping everywhere though. It's so long on this figure. Her chest looks amazing. You know, definitely does not seem like they're gonna half-ass this. I'd be very surprised if there's a, you know, unsightly weld going down the cleavage. And man, I think I should start tallying how many of these gacha figures have the characters like adjusting their heels, taking them off. You know, there's so many we've already seen with that idea on display. Cinderella's doing it too. I get it, it's sexy, right? But it just seems like a really common practice for these figures. Dorothy Nostalgia, made by Shanghai. They're making so many figures. I don't even know if like Good Smile themselves are making any Nikkei figures. But yeah, first thing I noticed was the base, which kind of looks similar to Cinderella's, though the mirror portion looks a little foggy here, so I'm not sure if it's actually a mirror. Either way, I'm assuming the Cinderella figure will have something exactly like this. I gotta be honest, I feel like these pinks are a little bit too vibrant for my liking. I don't know, I don't want to hate on this figure, but I'm not in love with the pink. I also feel like for Nikkei, I'm not in love with their face. Usually I do like the faces on all of these figures, but I don't know, I feel like I've seen prettier Dorothy figures. I think, again, the one made by Hobby Sakura is just sticking out in my head. I found that figure to be absolutely stunning. And this one's not doing exactly that for me, though I do like how this is set up. I like all the confectionery and treats on this very tall table, some flowers down here, a little bit of fan service with the thighs, and the shading looks nice, the detail on the wings look great. But I don't know, I'm not like fully convinced, unfortunately. I definitely liked the prototype a little bit more when it was unpainted. But you guys let me know if I'm stupid. Either way, moving on, seems like we're in the Uma Musume section now, so here's a figure of Verzina from Good Smile Company, just the announcement though. We also had a figure of Vivlo. She's been painted finally, and she's looking fantastic. This color palette, great. And I also love her baggy ass socks. There seems to be like a little bit of purple gradation in her hair. Also, for some reason, in this photo, doesn't her hair look like a little glossy? I don't know if that's what they're going for, but it certainly looks like that in these photos. Her tail also has some like purple airbrushing gradation to it, which looks really nice. We also had Narita, top road, running full sprint, really energetic figure. Kind of a shame they have this acrylic stand right here. They could have put some like smoke trails to like hide that, considering she's running. I think that would have made sense. Or even just like some stars, I don't know. But not great. Otherwise, the rest of the figure does look pretty damn good. Another one of those reincarnation figures, this time of Shimakaze. Again, what are these? I don't know. I need some explanation. They just look worse than the previous figures. I'm just guessing they're really small, just like versions of the figures that we remember from the past. Or maybe you don't. You've never seen this one before. From Fat Company is the PA-15 bunny version from Girls Frontline. Character gets so many figures. Don't think we have one in a bunny suit though. And thinking about it, we rarely get figures from Fat Company in these galleries. Usually they have to do it in person. So that's kind of surprising. Moving on to some Nendos, we have Bang Dream's Rana. There was a period in my life where I actually did play the mobile game for Bang Dream. It was fun, but I never wanted to spend money on it, so it was a little tedious. We got Soyo, also from Bang Dream. None of these are painted yet. We have Reverse 1999X getting a Nendo. Still don't really know anything about this series. Nobody I know talks about it. Nobody I see on like Twitter talks about it. Oh, that's interesting. Nekopara is getting a 10th anniversary figure. 2-in-1. I like the stage that they're on. The sign in the background specifically looks good. The ribbon and like that like stage sign back here with the name of the series. The kitty cat balloons. It's all really cute. Their hair sculpts are great. Seems like they're eating ice cream. Seems like they're sharing. I only spot 1 cone, 2 scoops of ice cream though, perhaps 3 inside, who could tell? But yeah, looks on point. Art style is definitely there. Just gotta hope that they deliver on the quality. K-Angel got her Figma painted. I would talk more about this, but I'm gonna be talking about K-Angel a lot in the next pre-order roundup because she just got a new figure and it looks crazy. And I guess the fun don't stop there because here's another figure of K-Angel. This one's made by Good Smile Art Shanghai. I love the composition here, all those windows, even the pointer from the computer, right? It's pretty ingenious for K-Angel. I'm surprised like none of the other figures display her like this, right? She's even like popping out of the windows too. I kind of love it. I feel like I'm gonna really want this when it's painted, assuming they do a good job with the colors and the finishes. But they absolutely nailed the sculpting. Very, very excited. Honestly, I might like this one more than the one I was alluding to a second ago. Oh, they actually have the prototype for Fran from Final Fantasy XII. I kind of forgot about this one. That armor is super intricate. Like the sculpting here is great. I don't know if we have any other Final Fantasy figures to look forward to after this one. I'm hoping when I click next, they show off a new one. But yeah, she was a great choice. Not one a lot of people expected, but definitely like a fan favorite. Really unique design, and I think very refreshing. Goro Majima painted. Honestly, this looks great. I think I like this one the most of the Yakuza Nendos. Maybe because he's got like the big goofy helmet and the eye patch kind of hides the fact that he looks insanely young in Nendo form. But it works a little bit better. I don't know. I do like how this one's turned out so far. We have Ada Wong from Resident Evil 4. Very, very cute interpretation of her. But the sweater still looks fantastic, and them boots, not bad. Will look good next to Leon. Here is a model kit of Ryza. We had a Pete. Whoa, what the hell is this? The protagonist of Persona 3 and 5, the Dancing in Starlight and Moonlight figures. That came out of fucking nowhere. That's pretty crazy. I know Kotobukiya made the protagonist of Persona 5 Joker. In fact, I think that figure turned out really nicely. He came with Morgana, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, it's a 2-in-1. It's a boys' night out. I like what they're doing with the base too, the moon, the stars, the little like notes around the text, which I hope looks like neon signs. That would be my preference, but you know, I only like have slight familiarity with this game because I never actually played it. I should, because I do like rhythm games, but I never got a chance to. From Baldur's Gate 3 is the Emperor, which looks pretty sick. Another game I never played, unfortunately. I know, it's everybody's favorite game ever. I'll get around to it eventually. Kind of surprised that this is not like a large, seems like a missed opportunity, but the detail's definitely there, so maybe they're worried about the pricing. Sky Children of the Light is getting a pop-up parade, which I think I vaguely remember this being announced. I barely remember this game. I, again, did not play this one. But I do like the uniqueness of this figure. Like, this being announced at all, I think is extremely cool. We have Yuyuko from Solar Rain, Toho character, natural born ghost version. I've been looking for a figure of Yuyuko. I do like this. I don't know if I love her face though. I gotta see more. I gotta see more of this. I do like how it's set up. All those like spirits circling around her, right? The butterfly like off to the side feels kind of unnecessary. Surely they could have stuck that somewhere. It's like the only thing. Unless it's also supporting this like streak over here. But I do like the colors. I do like this overall sense of motion and flow. It seems promising, but I do need to see this one up close. I don't want to get too excited just yet. Yuji getting a Nendo doll. Megumi also getting a Nendo doll. Gojo, as well as Geto, of course, following suit. Oh, they actually painted Fern. Looking lovely. I'm kind of slightly disappointed that her base doesn't really match at all with the free rent figure, considering how like big that is. I was kind of hoping they had some like future plans for like new figures coming out. But this like little pond she's standing by does look really nice. It's a really light shade of blue, goes nicely with the grass on the rocks. Her hair kinda lacks shading though. It's very vibrant. I do like the color choice, but it does kind of come off as a little flat. But she does look lovely. The expression's nice. That smile definitely feels like Fern to me. Doesn't seem like it'll be a very expensive figure either. But Q's Q has a very promising one. You know, you lose the robe on the Q's Q figure, but it does look like a really cool version of her. So I'm gonna wait till both are out, or at least both are painted before I make any decisions. But I would like a Fern figure at some point because I love Frieren as a show, also a character. Figma for Frieren, this was also teased or leaked earlier. The figure arts is extremely expensive, so it makes sense that they would want to capitalize on the articulated Frieren figures on the market. And I guess unlike that figure, there's going to be like more gold. I think this is a Max Factory and Good Smile thing. Not a lot of the companies do this, but it seems like every single time Good Smile company puts out a Frieren figure, it has this gold trim, which I think stands out a little bit too much on the Figma for some reason. Not that it looks bad, but I don't know, it doesn't really look as natural as it does on some of the other figures for her. Himmel getting a Figma is actually pretty cool though. I wish he would get a scale alongside Stark, but you know, Good Smile Company, I don't think they're gonna do it. They really should. But you know, he's the man. We have a Figma of Marin. Nothing to really discuss, unfortunately. We have the Guts Berserker Armor XL. which honestly makes a ton of sense. We have not seen an XL pop-up parade in like a year or two. I feel like it's been forever. And this is just a bigger version of one of their most popular pop-up parades ever, if not the most popular pop-up parade. And it seems like they're adding a little bit of blood to his sword, which I don't know if I'm really loving the execution of this right now. It looks kind of tacked on and also a little out of place. I feel like it's not necessary. Maybe the red should be toned down a little bit so it doesn't look as fresh, but I don't know. It's one photo against a very dark background. Could look a lot better in person. We have a new scale figure of Asuka out of nowhere from Good Smile Art Shanghai. Pretty traditional Asuka. Can't tell what color this suit is supposed to be. I don't have like supreme familiarity with Eva. I watched it like twice in my life. Also can't tell if she's supposed to be like wearing an eye patch or bangs or completely covering one of her eyes, which I don't know, it's definitely a look. I do like this quite a bit. Matching Rey sitting on this big rock pillar. Not as exciting for me, unfortunately. I just like the pose Asuka is striking so much more. The slight movement in her hair too definitely helps a lot. But, you know, Good Smile Art Shanghai, it's a good company making it. Oh shit, they're making a Lane. Sorry to just like cut that off, but Lane Pop-Up Parade L, which definitely will sell well. I think this looks better than the Nendo. The Nendo was a little disappointing. It didn't really look like Lane. I feel like this isn't 100% there, but it does look a lot better in my opinion. Plus it's like way more on model anyway because it's a normal figure, right? Yeah, that's a crazy announcement. That's really cool. Oh shit, is this a re-release? The Hitagi Senjogahara Remaster Project. So this is not one of those reincarnation figures. This is the old figure done again with like new techniques. The company has grown and they're gonna do it better this time. That's actually like something I'm like 95% sure I'm going to pick up. I've been thinking about buying the old version, but so many times when you see it, something's broken. All the stationery is so fragile on that original figure. But design-wise, this figure is just perfect for her. I don't think they ever made a better figure of Senjogahara, and that was like one of the first scale figures she ever got. So yeah, this is like my favorite announcement so far. Easily, I think, oh shit, this one's also insanely good. Okay, Ryuko Matoi getting a scale figure. I'm probably gonna buy this too, no shit. Funny enough, I just rewatched this show actually, so the timing immaculate, and I love this pose. It's that iconic pose of her getting ready to put on Senketsu, or rather, you know, the other mode, right? And yeah, the way the scissor sword is slammed into the ground, cracking the title of the show, this is kind of perfect, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be that expensive. I can't believe I got two figures I'm like genuinely super excited about back to back. Just give me a Xenoblade figure and I'm fucking set for life. Here is a Nendo doll of Toga. Okay, Nendoroid of Hitori Goto, the tracksuit version. I think this is like her fourth Nendo now, maybe her third, kind of hard to keep up. Jibril is getting a bunny version from Fat Company. That design is probably gonna look pretty good if Fat Company can deliver, but Fat Company has made a lot of really good No Game No Life figures, so I'll assume they'll do a good job. Solar Rain is back, giving us a certain scientific railgun Misaki figure, the negligee version. This expression is great. She always has these eyes, but I like how she's licking her lips too. We have an SP Pop-Up Parade of Albedo, which I don't know if that means it's gonna be bigger or if they're just going to ask for more money. Personally, I'm not crazy about this dress design. You might be though. The ruffling on the sleeves, certainly a look. Also the ruffling of the dress going down her legs. Very pretty. I'm just not the biggest fan of these colors personally, so I don't know. This though, holy shit. Armor Albedo, large size pop-up. And usually when they do armor designs and pop-up parades, they actually turn out pretty good. This looks very different from that one figure of her in the armor, where it was like purple. I think DMM Factory might have made that. But the face looks so much better here. She looks ready to kill. This is kind of amazing. And this won't cost too much money. Like 9,000 yen, right? Cool ass announcement. That's a good one. From Gridman Universe scale figure of Akane, Chaos New Order featuring Saitom. Oh shit, it does look like Saitom's art. This is so like Xenoblade 2 coded, it's kind of ridiculous. Like everything from the waist down reminds me of Xenoblade 2. Yeah, I mean, definitely interested. Akane's not my favorite character, but she's cool. This looks really nicely sculpted. I'm loving these gold bits against the purple. And the swords she's wielding are really interesting. Need a closer look at them. Very busty too. I'm pretty sure she's not supposed to be like this busty. Might be Saitam going wild again, but the design definitely there. More Gridmen figures, Akane and Rika, assumingly as a pair. I don't know if you have to buy them together. Designed by Tori Domino. My goats back to back? That's crazy. There's a lot of that happening right now for me. Yeah, pretty simple. Their thighs are huge. I mean, granted, Rika's gonna have that, but even Akane, right? That's just Tori Domino doing the thing he loves doing. Pretty simple otherwise, though. These sneakers look so weird to me. I don't know, especially Akane's. I don't like them for some reason, but hopefully they look good in the end. We have an Akane Figma, we have a Rika Figma, we have the Guyver Gigantic Figma. Guyver designs, always killer, don't know anything about this series. We have Gigantic Dark from Bio Booster Armor, Guyver, which also looks sick. Very up-close shot of him, though. Interesting. Guyver 3 Ultimate Edition. All these designs are super cool. Here's a pop-up parade of Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura, the Black Cat costume version, large size. That's nice to see. This outfit, I'm pretty sure had a Nendo back in the day. Don't recall too many figures of her wearing this, so it's nice that Good Smile Company is deciding to make this, capitalizing on the outfit. Nina getting a Nendo, very cute. Love Nina. Girls Band Cry. Great show. Painted. Maybe there's more. No, there's not from the series. Amane Tanakaze from Angelic Chaos Reboot is getting a Nendo. No idea who that is. Very Naked Holo from Good Smile Company, featuring Saitam once again. He is out here. He is making figures. And man, this is sculpted like a goddess statue from Greece or something. Like this body and how thin this towel is. Like this isn't a dress. She's just covering herself up, right? And the feet, like damn, they went really hard on the sculpting. Almost doesn't even need to be painted. It looks that good. But I'm assuming they're not done with it just yet. We have the Figma of Senshi. This one seemingly taking forever to come out, but Senshi's the GOAT. I would buy this if I bought more Figma. We have a figure of Tomie from Junji Ito's Maniac. Just the announcement, but cool to see his series and work get some figures. We have Revi, large size pop-up parade from Black Lagoon. Super dynamic pose means that you're gonna have to support it with a stupid stand in the back, but it's okay. It's a sacrifice that we're willing to make for Revi. Nice to get a figure of her wearing the outfit that she's typically seen in, wielding the pistols, face looks really nice, smoking the cig. What more could you want? Next up is a figure of Mochizuki-san, the Swachao version. The sitting down figure's right. She looks cute. I do like her sweater, but that's pretty much it. If you like the art style, that one will appeal to you. A Nendo of Kineko. That's kind of cool. She has so many figures from that one company. I'll put it on screen right now. But I don't think too many other figure manufacturers have made figures of her. Good Smile Company though, oh, it's right there, Golden Head. I should have read. Golden Head makes all of her figures. So they're collaborating, making a really cute little figure of the cat girl Kineko. DMM Factory is making an appearance with their Maid Mason line. This time it's Kasane Minazumi, who is looking a little embarrassed, taking off the thigh highs. Next up, we have Kamaro from Fat Company. The fact that they're showing this figure in the gallery means the gloves are off and they don't give a shit no more. This one's pretty suggestive. Usually they don't go down this line. Unless it's like explicitly plus 18, then they won't allow it. But yeah, considering the series is only now getting an anime, like it hasn't even gotten a real trailer yet, and there's already 3 figures for it, I would expect to see a lot in the future, especially of Komuro. She's certainly a fan favorite alongside Otoritan. Those two seem to be the most popular. Made in Abyss is getting a figure from Good Smile Company. This is the Nanachi new outfit version. It's blue, but really the fur and hair sculpting looking pretty damn on point. The baggy outfit too, like the pants, certainly an impressive sculpt so far. I do wish they did a little bit with this base though the figure overall does seem like it's going to leave a small footprint in your collection. Like it doesn't seem very big, so I guess they didn't want to go too hard on the base, which, you know, if it saves money, that's also a plus. Here's a new Yui figure from my teen romantic comedy Snafu, the light novel version. This is a follow-up to the Yukino Shita figure, which was immensely popular. I love that figure. Not even a series I really got into, but I was very impressed with that one. and this has very similar vibes to it. I think the outfit doesn't look as good to me, but the setup is still strong. This like cold stare she's given us, really like that as well. It's just not an interpretation of the character we ever get in figure form, which makes it stand out. That and the fact that it is the light novel's art style. Plus that scarf looks great. I love the scarf and the fact that like her blazer or like school uniform is slightly fallen off her sleeves. I like that too. Next up, from Summer Pockets is a Nendo of Shiroha Naruse. I feel like I haven't really talked too much about the Nendos, but I haven't really seen any that have caught my eye, got my attention. My Hime, that's a freaking throwback, is getting a model kit of My Tokiha. I'm currently not in my model kit phase, but maybe one day I will get back into that. Oh, that's pretty cute. We have the Rilakkuma and Korillakuma Nendoroid doll pajamas. Great idea. This is the same idea, I'm pretty sure, for Ebiten no Shippo, as well as Ebifurai no Shippo. And then the gloomy pajamas, okay, that's a good call. We have a Nendo doll of Osamu Dazai, the Dark Era version, as well as a scale figure from Bungo Stray Dogs of Osamu Dazai, the kimono version, which I guess I wouldn't expect he would have some like flashy, pattern running through the kimono. But I do feel like this looks a little too straightforward for me to be like wowed by. I'm sure people who love this character are just excited to get a male kimono figure, not something we see very often. And they did something with the base with like the leaves on the wood planks and the bridge behind him, that bright red contrasting with the blue. It does look good. It's a solid figure, so I don't know why I'm nitpicking. As long as the price is fair, I think it'll be okay. Next up is a figure of Chuya, the Yukata version. Should have saw this coming. They always come together, right? Though this one's a Yukata instead, if it matters, but he is not painted. So next up we have Mikazuki, the festive attire version, large size pop-up parade from Token Rambu Online. A very jet black, sleek suit, a little bit of blue poking through, face looks nice, hairstyle's good. Doing one of these for some reason, but yeah, it looks cool. Orange Rouge is putting up some Nendos. From Jinx is Ju, as well as Kim Don. And next up, we have Kingdoms Kyokai. I think we're at the part where I'm not gonna be able to say too much in terms of commentary. Italia World Stars Japan Nendo doll. Oh, that's really cool. Jinro is getting a model kit. That was totally unexpected. You can barely see this guy, which is probably intentional for the photo shoot, but what am I supposed to say? Besides, that's sick. Movie's sick. Next up, I think, are some model kits. Gonna go through these very quickly. Sophia F. Shearing Bunny version, the Rhodey version of Sophia F. Shearing. This is Commando Belka, a 1/12 scale action figure. I don't trust this one. She's way too dizzy to be holding that grenade. She's gonna kill us all. Model kit of Lisa from Valkyrie Toon, Iris Valkyrie Toon. That's a really cute design, actually. Guilty Princesses, Maidroid, Rayquill. DMM Factory back again with the original 100 Artist Exhibition DS Smile illustration, Wheels of Time. So, pretty kimono figure, braided hair, nice purple gradation, a lot of pattern work, whether it be on the kimono itself or the sashes, seems to be at least 2 or 3. This is a really colorful figure. Not in love with the face of this figure. I do like the idea. Her boots are great. Something about like kimonos with the boots. Don't see it super often, but I really, really like it. Next up, we have some Nendoroid dolls. Animal Coat, Milk. So I guess a cow, right? Okay, Luminous Box has an OC for us, Mia. We've seen this one a couple of times. They finally put it up. I don't even remember if it had a prototype, but she's fully painted now. Girl working out, super sweaty looking. Does seem like she's slightly drenched in at least some areas, which is actually really appreciated. And I like the way her hair is like slightly wet looking too, specifically on her forehead. And then yeah, just some little like base flourishes, a weight, some water bottles. Hips are crazy. And it does seem like they might be cut on the sides too, which is gonna make this figure even sexier. Tummy definition good, chest sculpt's looking good, seems promising. More figures from Luminous Box. Here we have the Bunny Cop 1 and Bunny Cop 2. More very sexy designs coming your way from the company. Another figure illustrated by Saitom. This is Seiryu, who is depicted in this pretty sexy Chinese style dress, very poofy sleeves. Is this supposed to be her hair or just like a dragon familiar behind her? Like she's holding the tail so close to her head that it's actually kind of confusing, and it does look like her hair, so I'm just going to assume that. I feel like this will make or break the figure though, so I hope they do a good job with that. Seems pretty ambitious. Caesar and Diana Fluffy Land Nendoroid dolls. I don't know if it's just the outfits or the characters are included with that as well. We have the Nendoroid of Diana from Fluffy Land. I do now remember the announcement from last time. PlayStation for Figma Plus. Honestly, I kind of love this. You even have like a little VMU, whatever that version of that was called in Japan, because we did not get that over here. But PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pretty awesome. And the controllers, even like wired for the older consoles too. That's pretty charming. Next up was the shuttered Sakai version of Hatsune Miku, who is from the movie, which I wish I saw in theaters. I'll watch that eventually. But I've not seen that yet. The unshattered Sakai version from the same movie also getting a Nendo. Rin and Len getting 2.0 Nendoroid. Surprised it took this long to happen. Same with Luca. She is also getting a 2.0. We have Kaito 2.0, as well as Meiko 2.0. All of these were announced previously a couple of days ago. Hatsune Miku 3.0. We're at 3.0 at this point, which is kind of crazy to me, but I guess if they were going to do it with anybody, it would be Miku. Now here are some Nendoroid large figures of Kageyama and Hinata. I don't know why they only list him. Clearly they're both getting it, and they're about twice the size. A novel concept. We'll see how this does, because I think they're also making Saber. Like, they're playing it very safe with their picks. Think that makes sense. No idea how popular these are going to be. I mean, if they made a big-ass Taiga Nendo, I would certainly buy that. That has a likelihood of happening. She is very popular, but I doubt we'll see that today. Joey Wheeler, the fucking man, getting a Nendo. About time, he deserves it. Shishio from Kenshin also getting a Nendoroid. Again, these announcements were from the other day, alongside with Shinobu. I think her Nendo is actually very expensive, the original one. I do own that. It's not on display right now. I feel like she looks slightly different here. I don't remember her coming with the helmet. I hope everything's different about this Nendo in terms of accessories and faceplates. Make it feel very different from the other one if you're not going to just like flat out improve, because that doesn't seem to be the case with most 2.0s. They just call it that, even though there are instances where the previous version has something about it that's better, but that's a topic for another time. In fact, I've already talked about that many times. Anyway, Kill la Kill getting some more love. We have the Ryuko and Satsuki Junketsu and Senketsu versions. I like how they're sharing the scissor blade, but that certainly means you're gonna have to buy both of them if you want to do that. Next up, Asuka is getting another Nendoroid, this time the test suit version. I've always liked this specific suit that she wears, more than like the full-on red one. So I do actually like this. I don't know if Rei, though, got a Nendo announcement at this event. Doesn't seem like it, but we did get Natori from Natsume Eugene Cho. Just the announcement, though. Blackjack getting a Nendo. That's pretty sick. Showing some love to the OGs. We had Shinku 2.0. So even Rose and Maiden is getting the 2.0 treatment. We had Till from Alien Stage, who I don't know anything about, but that's cool. Seems like the series is also getting the Nendoroid surprise treatment, so all of these are getting very tiny blind box Nendos, which I think they should make more of. Here is the Liz cosplay by Marin Nendoroid from My Dress Up Darling. I mean, how could you not like this? She looks honestly pretty damn on point for a Nendoroid, like getting the art style down, getting the expression down, despite it being a very chibi stylization of the character. Pretty impressed. They're also making it Nendoroid Surprise for Marin, so just all of these different versions of her, but you're gonna have to take the gamble, unless I guess you buy the whole box set, which honestly, if you're importing, is likely the thing you're going to do. But yeah, Fate Stay Night also getting the Nendoroid Surprise treatment, another good choice. Nendoroids of Kei and Tadashi, the new Karasuno versions from Haikyuu. So these boys over here, don't know what they're doing. I guess they're just showing off what the outfit they're gonna be wearing looks like. Oh shit, they're making more Hitman Reborn Nendos. Okay, Hayato getting a figure. I don't know if he's the only one. No, he is not. Takashi is also getting a Nendo. I used to love this manga, though I did fall off of it slightly towards the end, and the anime, I love the openings for it, but it never really did the same for me. Takamichi from Tokyo Revengers getting a Nendo. Cool, cool. Surumaru festive attire version from Token Rambu Online. Okay, don't know him. This guy's making an appearance once again, but in Nendoroid form. So if you like Mikazuki, you're in luck. He's getting a lot of stuff lately. Otaya from Utano Prince-sama, the movie, is getting a Nendo, just the announcement. Masato, also from the same movie, getting a Nendo as well. We had Natsuki, we had Tokuya, we had Ren, we had Syo, we had Cecil, and I guess that's it. That was like 7, right? 7 or 8? A lot of Nendos from Utano Prince. Berserker Ultra Caster from Fate Grand Order getting a Nendo. I've always liked this outfit, very cute. Reminds me of Easter. The pinstripes look great. Next up is Miyako Kujo, maid version from 9-9. Exceptionally large head in this art. I hope it's exactly like that in figure form. It would be more charming. We also had Lily from Ender Lilies. That's a pretty surprising announcement. Doesn't look anything like the game though, which I feel is a little disappointing. But this series getting a figure at all, I think, is awesome. We had Eve, another pretty big announcement from the other day from Stellar Blade, who I think will sell very well, though maybe her audience is looking more forward to scale figures of the character. I think that would make more sense, but a cute figure of Eve, who's gonna complain about that? And then Blue Archive announced some figures the other day too. We had Akane, Kana, as well as Kohoru in that order. Next up was Kokichi from Danganronpa V3, this son of a bitch, one of the best characters in my opinion, but fuck him. Cool to see him getting a Nendo. It's a great choice, for sure. We also had Scarlet from Goddess of Victory Nikkei, Black Shadow version, as well as Soda, okay. More Nikkei Nendos heading your way. Niji Sanji also getting some Nendos. We had Sheena, Lunlun, Ibrahim, as well as Loren. And I think that's actually it. I believe we made it through the entire gallery. Now, this is the point where I don't know if there's way more in person. So maybe this video is gonna end, maybe I'm adding more, or maybe there's gonna be a part 2. I don't know. Alright, it's the next day. Time to finish this video off. I don't think we need a part 2 unless next week's crazy, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm gonna be using Moe Pop, and if needed, I also have the Ami Ami Report Twitter up as well. Both excellent resources for anime figure news, but we're gonna start off with the Panty and Stocking pop-up parades. They painted all 4 of them finally, and in the case of these two, like the smaller variants, the ones that are a bit more cartoony, they're perfect. The flatter colors work in their advantage, and the blocky proportions are super accurate to the art style of the show. These two are brought to life flawlessly, even giving us some smaller details like some glossy nails for Panty, and I like this painted on shadow that's being cast from Stocking's hair, just to fit even more with the series art style, so I'm in love with these, absolutely buying them. As far as the Repent versions goes, now these are large size pop-up parades, I think they look good. I honestly like these poses more than the Alter figures. Those were pretty static, they're good figures, I do own the Stocking one, but they weren't really remarkable as far as the posing goes. These are much more dynamic and alive. But why did they change Stocking's expression? I will never understand why. This is very much a reference to the show, to a very specific scene. Like 1-to-1, I don't know why they would change the expressions when they had it right the first time when we first saw the prototype. Makes absolutely no sense to me. Still look good, but I wish they would go back and change that because I don't understand what the thought process was here. Anyway, let's continue. I thought this was extremely exciting. We're getting Shampoo and Ranma 1/4 scale bunny figures. Kinda came out of nowhere. Nice to see the dream is still alive as far as getting more Ranma figures go. I am a huge fan of Shampoo. I don't really like most of her figures on the market though, just very picky I suppose, but I do think this one's looking solid. I like that her bunny suit is pulling inspiration from one of her main outfits from the series, and despite the lack of leggings, like no fishnets here, this little string around her leg I think is pretty sexy in its own way. Ranma, you know, this one's very traditional. I do like the red heels, I think that adds a much needed contrast of color. The hair shading on both of them do seem pretty solid, and I will say I think Ranma has the cuter expression. So yeah, I would say solid stuff all around, pretty pleased with these announcements. From Kleino, we had Owari, the Anime Expo 2024 version from Azur Lane. I would recognize those horns anywhere. She is wearing some very sexy hot pants, some fishnets, which are sculpted in this instance. I don't know if that's how it's going to look in the final product. Baggy jacket, really nicely braided twin tails, and extremely busty, as you would imagine an Owari figure would be. Not everything on this page is technically new, like Moe from Blue Archive have definitely seen that prototype before, as well as this Meidobuso figure, definitely have seen this one too. But we did get from Wave a figure of Shinosawa Hiro, the swimsuit version. She gets a lot of figures, must be extremely popular. But man, this face right now is not it. Too early to tell, but I am a little disappointed with that prototype so far. We had Natori Sana, the Kyonchi version. Adorable premise, love the hair, love the oversized sleeves. You know, I'm not really sure of the difference between a Kyonchi and a Jangshi, but I would assume she could have come with a talisman over the forehead. And I feel like the lack of that is kind of disappointing. I think that would have kind of brought the whole thing together, but it's still very cute, so I'm not gonna criticize it too much. Here's the Kawaii Gal Punidu, also made by Wave. Really liking the texturing work so far on the sweater, the socks as well, very baggy. Currently there are a lot of seam lines running through this figure, specifically on the side, but that is pretty common on outfits like this. I will say I like the piercings in her hair, considering she does have slime hair, so I don't know how that works, but I do think it's pretty charming. Next up, we actually had a new Sonico figure from Wave, the Sexy Patissiere version. Just making a complete mess. Icing, ice cream, not exactly sure, but it's covering her chest completely, even dripping down to her belly as well. And as we're down here, we could see great care was put into the tummy definition. Not wearing any pants, so this will probably look pretty sexy from the back too. Yeah, it's a pretty suggestive Sonico, like most of them, but pretty cute at the same time. Here's a school uniform figure of Atago from Azur Lane. Someone seemingly has knocked her down. You better help her up. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. Another figure, though, where the shoes are off. You gotta show off them feeties when you can. We also had some figures from the Idol Master of Ranko and Kaide, the Dance 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 versions. Outfits are looking pretty identical across both figures. Usually there's like something different between the girls in the same set. These jackets remind me of Fire Force, they're like the exact same color. Kaide from Onimai, definitely have seen this one painted in the past, but here's a full shot of the figure, and it's looking pretty good. I feel like something is off though, maybe it's the proportions. Maybe her head is a little bit too big for this body, I don't know. At least the art style is nailed as far as like her face goes, and all the accessories, the charms, the bracelets, the sunglasses, there's a lot of cute aspects of this figure to appreciate, but I don't think it's 100% there. Here's a figure of Ruri Kuroneko from Oreimo, which I can't really remember the last time I got a figure of Ruri. Just a very simple sundress, sun hat, looking back towards you. Pretty lovely. Solar Rain finally painted their colors red figure, and I think it's looking pretty promising. Only now realizing she has a halo like a Blue Archive character. But the shade they went with for her hair is really great. I think her face is pretty, though it does have like a bit of a doll-like appearance to it, which isn't my favorite, but I'm not gonna knock the figure for that. I've always loved this quiver she comes with. The bow too, I think the design of it is awesome, but something about the quiver looks really nice to me. And yeah, done a great job with the body sculpt, the barcode on her thigh for whatever reason. A couple of different finishes. You could tell the jacket is matte, maybe a bit of a semi-gloss for the leggings, and some gold paint used for her shoes. Seems like they're handling that one very well. We also had, what else is new here? This one I've seen like a couple of weeks ago, but they gave the Mira figure, designed by Tori Domino, a tan. Which, I mean, they did that with Ryza, right? And that proved to be an extremely smart idea. That was a very popular figure for them. And while I don't think this will reach the same heights, I do think, once again, it's a really nice idea. And I think because she has a tan this time, you get to see the definition of her body a little bit more. Like, I think her toned legs and her arms, even like the armpit sculpting, is just like more pronounced here. Which just makes the sculpting a little bit sexier. Also, the bikini is black this time instead of white. Oh, didn't we just see this one yesterday, but just the announcement? I'm surprised there's a prototype at the event. But they have the Aru Dress Memorial Lobby version here from Blue Archive. Nice to see that she does come with this entire, like, restaurant or bar setup. These look like chopsticks, so I'm assuming it's a restaurant. But yeah, weird that they didn't just show the prototype yesterday. Macchiato Ballroom Interlude from Girls Frontline 2. This one's made by Wonderful Works, and I did get curious on the colors for this figure for some reason, so I looked up the artwork. I think it's very promising, whether it be the shade of her hair, that purplish red, or the inside of her dress being this very bright yellow, maybe even gold, hard to say in the artwork, but all of that contrasting with the very dark dress and the leggings and the shorts, I think is very, very appealing. Also the slightly tsundere expression, definitely love that too. Next up, I've seen this one painted for a little bit, but might as well show it off. It's Sayori from Blue Archive. This is one of the best looking Blue Archive figures, and it's not even like doing anything that extravagant. It's not super dynamic. She's really just standing here. But the paint apps are sublime. Like the way they painted her pants, like holy shit, that looks good. Not to mention the sculpting for her stomach, that looks so impressive. That is like an 11 out of 10 for me. Plus this character design is just killer in its own right. Like even if this wasn't painted that well, it would still look cool. The face mask and the baseball cap, this huge oversized white jacket, a little bit of silver and blue like along the edges of it, just looks so crisp, so clean. I adore it. That figure is insanely impressive. Wonderful Works also showed off their Ryza from Azur Lane, the collaboration figure, but we've seen this prototype before alongside with Yumiya. This one's been painted for like a month now. I don't think it's up for pre-order yet, but she does look rather beautiful here. The curvature of her body, the delicate sculpting of her fingers and feet, this expression longingly, lovingly looking towards your way, right? Very subtle red gradation for her bangs, and even the beach base, while it's not like complex, it's not that different, I think it looks clean. I think they've done a good job here. The waves slightly crashing into the sand. The execution is spot on here. What else is there to say? We had a pretty simple little figure of Kazusa, the band version from Blue Archive made by Miyuki. You know, I'm definitely digging her attire, the t-shirt with the band logo on it, the school uniform tied around her waist, and I love that she comes with a guitar as well. But this is not 24,000 yen worth. That's pretty crazy. Unless the guitar comes with so much detail in it, and like the paint apps are beautiful, like they clearly have spent so much time on the guitar, that would save the price, but I don't think Miyuki's gonna do that because they usually just overprice their figures anyway. And then another Kazusa figure, this time depicting her in her main outfit, comes with her big gun, of course, and I like that one of her ears are actually perked up, like you caught her attention. Pretty cute as well. This figure, holy shit, this is cute. The non-scale figure of Fallen Chimera version, Thank You for the Meal from Dungeon Meshi. I've seen the garage kit version of this figure floating around. A lot of people very desperate to get it, so it's kind of surprising that Kadokawa, of all companies, is making this a retail release. I am definitely buying this. I love the stylization of this figure, that very cute, full of joy expression. Their proportions a little bit chunkier, a little bit rounder, but still has enough detailing to highlight and define the Chimera form, all the scales, the very glossy nails, and the feathers, of course. I'm gonna put this right next to my Marseille figure. A couple more to go through. I believe we are in the Aniplex section now. Lena from 86 is getting a bunny figure, just the prototype though. And we're also getting a 1/7 scale of Sakurajima Mai, the red bunny version. I think this is a recolor. This figure looks very familiar. I think the original was very expensive, then they re-released it. Now they're making a new variant on it. Look at this one though, they actually gave us the painted prototype for Ryo from Bocchi the Rock. Looking killer. I do want to see how their Nijika figure turns out. I really like the outfit she wears when she's playing the drums. But Ryo here, the shading actually does look pretty nice. The stage looks just as good as it did on Hitori's figure. It is extremely similar, but that only makes sense. They are playing on the same stage, right? I don't think this starry sign was included on the Hitori figure, though. Pretty sure they both came with stage lights, however. But yeah, people want these characters playing their instruments, so it's nice that Aniplex is actually giving us just that. Here is a non-scale figure of Kitagawa Marin, the Shizuku Kuroe cosplay version, which looks very similar to some like prize figures we've seen in the past, some that were very popular. I don't think they have her lifting up the dress and showing off the markings on her legs, which I'm not exactly sure if that's supposed to be like the amount of times the character has done it, like specifically the character she's cosplaying. I'm pretty sure that's the point. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But that's a pretty fun detail for a scale figure, I'll give them that. Next up is Wing. They brought their prune belly dance version, and honestly, I don't know how to approach talking about this on YouTube.com. So I'm just gonna say this is highly suggestive, which is definitely the angle they're going for. We also had an announcement for Kana and Neru, the Memorial Lobby versions from Blue Archive. Damn, they gave Neru the cat ears and the ribbon and the crepe. I like this outfit too. This is a very cute design for a figure. Looking forward to seeing that one. Next up is Fat Company. I think a lot of announcements from them. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick. We had Nikita and Leva from Girls Frontline 2. There is a figure for Sion Blankness, the bikini armor version, as well as Veronica Sweetheart, the bikini armor version as well. Here is a figure of Xion, the cow bikini version. I guess I'll say not as thought-provoking as the Sophia version that Fat Company made in a cow bikini. We had the Yumiya swimsuit version, don't think that's new actually. And speaking of Sophia F. Shearing, here is the witch version of the character from Bunny Suit Planning. Character just has like 50 figures at this point, it's kind of crazy. This, in my opinion, is one of the best figures from Fat Company at this event, Magia Baizer, the second form version, which we haven't seen any other company tackle, and it's looking pretty perfect. I don't know if I trust Fat Company to nail this, usually there's some quality control issues, but this is so expressive and this outfit is wild. The body sculpting is definitely on point, the slight creases around her legs, right? And I love that the whip is curved as she's like pulling down on it. You can see how long her nails are too, pretty creepy alongside everything else. But yeah, killer design, hope it looks good. I think that's about it though from Fat Company. Actually wrong, definitely have to talk about the Rosalinde figure from Unicorn Overlord. That is a lot of leg and a lot of cake. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. Makes a lot of sense considering Fat Company is making this figure, but kind of caught me off guard, not gonna lie. Face looks pretty good, definitely need to see it painted, not sure if it's matching with the art style of the series exactly, but I'm liking it so far. These fairies are a very nice inclusion, was not expecting that at all. The pose is so dynamic, but kind of to a fault. She's being lifted by two extra supports on the front and the back, doesn't really look that good, but the way she's moving and twisting her body and holding the weapon above her head certainly shows off how sexy she is, so I guess I get it, right? I think this one is a new update. Hiyori from Blue Archive in her swimsuit fallen down. Popsicle landed in the sand, could no longer eat it. A travesty. Clearly very upset about that. Makes this figure pretty dang cute. Let's see what else we had. There was Oguri Cap and Belno Light from the Uma Musume series. These just look like 3D renders though, so very early in production. There was also some more Uma Musume here. We had Durandal, we had Callstone Light O, as well as Gran Algira. Hopefully I said that right. Moving on was a very revealing outfit for Cleopatra, the Stars and Roses version from Azur Lane, as well as another figure of Neru. It looks like the exact same uniform that Wing is making a figure for, except without the cat ears, so this one just loses, unfortunately. Too bad. Man, I was totally wrong. They brought a lot more than I thought to this event, though I do think Melocene was painted before. I don't think this one's an update. I do feel like Mine-chan was not painted before, so now we're getting the full picture here, and she's looking pretty dope. I don't really have that much to say about it, unfortunately. From the artist, Neko is the Doctor, very white, light blue palette. A lot of translucent plastic for her outfit, for her face mask. Honestly, really liking the paint apps here. We also had Kana Zebel. Mistress Kana is devilishly easy in this cowgirl outfit. This stomach, holy shit, the sculpting here. You don't see that every day. Chaps with like the cow print, pretty fun, pretty nice. Actually, she does have a tail as well, only now I just noticed that. But yeah, that might be it for Fat Company. Kearsarge getting a figure actually, adjusting her heels. Once again, that comes up. As well as Washington. Wow, what a pose. But Sexy Nurse, full black attire. What's not to like? Honestly, I do like it. Outside of that though, I know we had some freeing figures to go through, so let me find those very quickly. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of struggling to find them. I did pick up a few extra figures, though. We had Mai Shiranui from City of the Wolves. I don't like how her face looks at all. Sexy body, sure. I guess they're trying to mimic the art style of the game, but I don't know if they're really getting there. Plus, I'm not really the biggest fan of the art style in the game anyway, but a big-ass figure of Mai, probably very appealing. And they are going with the traditional outfit and not that like latex bodysuit she's wearing in that game. We had this figure from S-Fire of Asuka. looks a little bit better now that it's painted. The plug suit is very much ripped apart. Also, this figure is just drenched in gloss, maybe to an excessive degree. But yeah, this one's turning out okay, I suppose. We had Joey Wheeler making this fucking face. Had to show it to you guys. Certainly one of the main reasons you'd want to pick this guy up. And then the last figure I found was actually Alice from Goddess of Victory Nikkei getting a bunny figure. But this is actually a 1/3 scale. She looks massive, even bigger than the 1/3 scales from To Love Ru. Like, she's leaning forward a little bit. She's not standing up straight like the other two, yet her height is exactly the same as far as the top of their heads go, not even accounting for the ears. So yeah, this is gonna cost like 70,000 yen probably. But it is very nice looking. I do quite like the setup of this figure. Not wearing any leggings, which, you know, plus or minus depending on your preference. But I do love all these little carrots in her hair, very reminiscent of like Pekora. That's what I think of at the very least. Actually, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure this design is taken right from the game, which is why it probably has a little bit more personality to it. The pink suit and the sneakers, and once again, those carrots, right? So yeah, the design is definitely there. Just kind of comes down to if they're going to paint it well, if she's going to have nice shading. And you better start planning now where this figure is actually going to go on your shelves, because she looks absolutely massive. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for SmileFest 2025. I'm sure I missed something. It happens all the time. If there's a lot, I'll add it in post, just like in a slideshow. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. This was a pretty good event. I'll probably make a bonus video on my Patreon talking about like my overall opinions, what I'm the most excited about. That'll likely come out in a couple of days if I find some time for it. But I'm gonna go edit this right now. I want this out on Saturday because I spent all this time filming it. Might as well get it out as soon as possible for you guys. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you around later. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and I'll catch you around. Peace. Hey, congrats, you actually made it to the end of the video. That's genuinely impressive. These videos are way too long, but I want to thank the members over on the Patreon for continuing to support the channel, with special shoutouts going out to the highest tier members: Swoop, Nemia Dynaskull, Christy Eisenman, Aki Rusu, DT Perigi, Kaif Marie, and Magnitude.